We got 10 minutes. I caught up with you a little bit.
Oh, you did?
I'm on I got finished number 13.
Oh, then that means you went ahead of me.
Yeah, so you're probably going to be ahead of me now that I have this Zoom meeting. So yeah, we'll be even. It's good.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to get ready for my DMV meeting later.
Yeah.
It's alright. It happens. It's 9:21. I can do stuff. It's like 10.
Hey, could we like trade spaces? Like, could I go in there and you could be in here
Huh?
for the Zoom meeting?
What's up?
Could we trade spots? Could I be in the kitchen and you could be in here?
Me in there?
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Oh.
You would be here for the DMV, and he would be in the kitchen.
Or even just where you're sitting right now.
Well, then what about Jordan? Would she be here too?
Probably. I don't know.
Sharing, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you guys would be there, and then...
Like right here?
Or if you need an outlet, you could sit where I'm sitting.
You should probably sit farther away, so you should sit where Tyler's
Yeah, I'll sit with
Yeah, if you need to use an outlet, there's also an outlet over here.
Okay. Wait, but I'm not in the kitchen though.
No, Tyler's going to be in the kitchen.
I know, but we're not in the kitchen though.
Oh, right now, no.
No.
Okay, still.
That's right, they're in the kitchen. So,
Yeah.
okay, so
Jonathan,
Jonathan,
Nathan, the ones that you should
Jonathan and Nathan. Hey, Jonathan and Nathan.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys be over here? By,
Wait, Tyler sitting? Me and Jordan are over in the staff back area.
Oh.
Yeah.
so you and Jordan can be in the back.
Already in the back.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah. That is hilarious.
going to drink? Are you going to eat that steak?
I won't have time. My class is on. Hey guys, how are you?
I'm good.
Morning.
Good.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Nelson. How are you?
I'm doing fine. For morning, nice and sunny out there.
Right? I'm purposely spilling coffee, which is just an atrocious thing to do. But I'm preparing for our demonstration here in just a bit. Start getting that on.
Good morning.
Good morning. We got a few latecomers today. Morning, Christina.
Morning.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We have just a couple people that are kind of late today, but that's all right. We'll get started here. And as we discussed on Wednesday, today we will be dealing with the final process in the carpet cleaning, and that is vacuuming and as well the process of stain or spot removal, which we dealt with a little bit on our class on Wednesday. We are going to go a little bit more in depth with that with our video. Give me a second. Let me grab my book. So, okay, so before we get started with our video presentation and some of our hands-on demonstration, I wanted to review a few things with you guys that was part of the reading assignment for you for today. Let me do this real quick. We'll start with the recording.
Recording in progress.
So your homework assignment for today's class was to read the information on vacuuming procedures as well as the procedures for spot and stain removal. Part of the procedures that we cover as well deals with incoming soil control, and that is obviously matting. So in the lesson discussing matting, who can help me to understand how many mats should I place at a building and where should I place the mats? You guys remember that in your reading assignment?
Isn't it two mats, one outside, one inside?
So that would be at each entrance, but how many mats? I mean, what helps to determine? Mark, you want to help us a little bit more there? You're muted.
All entry points?
All the entry
points. Rear of the building, front of the building, wherever you come from.
Exactly. Because dirt doesn't know that it's a front entrance versus a back entrance, right? It's dirt. Doesn't matter. It's going to come in every entry point. One of the questions that comes up in this ISSA testing is, is it to save money, should we just put a mat at the front entrance? What do you guys think?
No.
Why not, Tony?
Because you're talking about how much it costs an organization to, maintain their existing equipment, their floor, and how costly it is.
Yeah. Yeah, in our lesson today, it talked about the cost between $600 and $1,200 to remove a single pound of dirt through sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, or carpet care. And this was the really profound thing. Mats can keep 9 out of 10 pounds of dirt from entering a building from the outside. So really a good investment, and it doesn't make sense to reduce the cost or the amount of mats to save a few dollars on mats versus the labor cost. So exactly right. And as you guys may have remembered from our previous lesson, the rule of 15s, to capture the maximum amount of dirt, it should be basically 15 feet of matting, which is 8 to 10 steps. So that might trip you up on the testing. It's 8 to 10 steps somebody should walk on the carpet. And remember, a step is longer than a foot, right? The average stride is about 2.5 feet. So that could help. So that was just a few of the procedures. Now, the other thing we talk about in vacuuming, I mentioned there was 2 types of vacuuming. Anybody catch what those 2 different types of vacuuming are?
Backpack and I forgot the other one.
So not the 2 different
and corded.
Yeah, not the 2 different types of vacuums, but the actual process of vacuuming are less.
And dual motor.
Say that again.
Single motor and dual.
You're still dealing with the types of vacuums. I'm actually asking about the process of vacuuming.
Straight line or side to side? Is that what you're looking for?
That was one of the things that was brought up. Okay. But our vacuuming also talks about how that there is regular vacuuming and then what we refer to as project vacuuming. Okay. And why is that important? Well, regular vacuuming, we typically go over the floor and hit just kind of the traffic lanes and those things. But when we do project vacuuming, we're talking about covering the entire area of flooring. So that's just one of those things. When it talks about what are the two different types of vacuuming, that's what we're talking about, is the regular vacuuming process and then the project vacuuming. One other thing that I wanted to mention, and I'm bringing these things up because these things will come up on your testing, so it's important. When you guys are vacuuming stairwells, now, if you remember on the test for hard floors, it asked about mopping a stairwell, okay? And mopping a stairwell, we always start at the top and work down because, for safety standpoint, we don't want to walk on a wet floor. We'll slip and fall and possibly could get injured. Vacuuming, first of all, the best vacuum for doing stairwells is a backpack vacuum. And why do you think that's the case? Why is a backpack vacuum the best vacuum for stairs? Mark. You're muted. You're muted, Mark.
There you go. We there?
Yep.
It's portable, lightweight, sitting on your back. You're not pulling something on a cord or up the stairs and whatnot. So
yeah,
just safer all the way around.
It's much safer. Your balance is much better with a backpack vacuum, especially if you had a cordless backpack vacuum. That would be phenomenal for use.
Yeah, I had a question for you, Dave, regarding just backtracking here on the two types of vacuuming. The regular and the project vacuuming. The test doesn't mention anything about project vacuuming.
What is
it mentions? It mentions side to side, regular or routine vacuuming, and detail vacuuming, high speed, conventional, and route vacuuming and spot vacuuming.
I'll tell you what. Let me reference back to that one, and I will clarify that.
Because that's what I was kind of torn on, whether it be the regular routine or the straight line or side to side.
Let me clarify that. So I will double check that one and make sure I have that correct. Keep in mind, they don't give me an answer key for the testing. So
okay.
But and thank you for clarifying, because it's been a while since I took that, and I appreciate that. So I will get an answer, and I will have that for you guys by Monday.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to make a note of that too. Okay, so that being said, I mentioned about the backpacks and stairwells. The other reason from a safety standpoint on vacuuming of stairwell, you would start on vacuuming from the bottom and work up. The reason being is the same safety concern as you had with mopping. Mopping, you didn't want to walk on a wet floor. With vacuuming, you don't want to trip over your cord. So as you're working your way up, your cord stays behind you, your tool's in front of you, your work stays in front of you. If you worked from the top down on that, the potential is twofold. One, because of the vacuuming, you're going backwards, okay, you could lose your balance. And number two, because of the cord, you could trip over a cord. So you never want to do something where you're working in that manner on stairwells. So it's an exact opposite for vacuuming versus mopping of stairwells. And an important safety standpoint, if you're using a tank style or canister vacuum to do stairwells, never set the vacuum body on a stair because it's likely to be pulled over or fall. So you'd always want to work where it was on a landing of some sort and have enough hose to be able to cover that stretch of vacuuming. So If you don't have that, probably the wrong vacuum to use when doing that. A lot of times tank vacuums, not so much canister, but tank vacuums, you can get much longer run of hose, up to about 15 feet on a tank vacuum. So, okay. That kind of sets the stage for our video. This is the, we don't too often get to use the full ISSA videos because they don't have one to cover every different type of flooring, but they do have a pretty nice video on carpet. This video is about 25 minutes long. It will also cover issues about use of equipment such as carpet extracting and bonnet cleaning. Those aren't specifically covered in this lesson, but it's a good idea for you guys to be aware of those processes. So it will cover that. And then we'll have a little bit of a discussion about it. We'll move into the spotting. And again, this video will also cover that. So let me get that set up here.
Cleaning is a valuable investment in productivity, in protecting public health, in your people, in your planet, in your profits. As cleaning professionals, we are responsible for the care and maintenance of millions of dollars worth of physical property. Clean buildings result in healthier, safer environments by protecting against illness, increasing productivity, and ultimately increasing occupant satisfaction. A cleaner building also is a big step toward protecting facility assets and creating sound environmental stewardship. This video is dedicated to helping you better understand the theory and practice of carpet care maintenance by focusing on specific techniques that help ensure while performing your duties, they are done in a safe and effective manner. Value of clean. Perception is everything. You walk into any building, and one of the first things that you notice is dirty floors. First impressions are essential in a facility, as the appearance of your facility makes a statement to its visitors. Clean floors equal a good impression. Proper techniques for carpet maintenance ensure that carpeted flooring stays in good, clean, and well-maintained condition each and every day. Proper, consistent carpet maintenance is critical to extending the life of the carpet, ensuring optimum performance and appearance levels, and maintaining a clean and healthy indoor environment. All floor work begins at the custodial supply closet. It is critical that you have all the tools and supplies that you will need to properly maintain the carpeted floor surfaces. Not all carpet solutions are treated the same. Be sure that you have the correct cleaning solutions, tools, and equipment to perform the specific cleaning procedure you will be doing. Working with your janitorial supply professional, you can identify which maintenance equipment, solutions, and procedures best meet your needs. Working with a checklist saves time and helps to ensure that you will get what you need to complete the task each and every time. Carpet Care and Maintenance Solutions Checklist. All-Purpose Carpet Spotter Solution. Extraction Solution. Pre-Spray Solution. Shampoo, Spin Bonnet Cleaner. Defoamer, Anti-Foam. Specialty Solutions Checklist. Specialty Spotter Solution. Tar Grease Paint Remover. Gum Remover. Ink Remover. Odor Counteractant Solution. Carpet Sanitizer Solution. Carpet Neutralizer. Carpet Protector. For best results, cleaning solutions should remove soils without leaving any chemical residue behind. Choosing cleaning solutions that minimize chemical residue in the carpet while working to extract the soil is critical to a successful carpet maintenance program. Carpet care and maintenance equipment. You will also need equipment and tools for proper carpet maintenance. These include equipment checklist, upright vacuum, wide area vacuum, backpack vacuum with carpet tools, pile lifter, floor machine with pad driver for spin bonnet or with brush for scrubbing carpet, post dry extraction machine, cylindrical crystallization encapsulation machine, carpet spotter extractor with wand, carpet extractor box type with wand, Carpet extractor self-contained. Carpet drying fan. It is critical to select the right tool for the job. It is equally important that every piece of equipment that is used is in good working condition, with soil recovery systems in top working condition to maximize soil removal from the carpet. Carpet maintenance tools. Carpet spotting brush. White clean towels, carpet spotting. Mop bucket wringer setup. Spin bonnet, 1 bonnet for every 800 square feet of carpet being cleaned. Caution wet floor signs. Dry cloths. Protective gloves. Doorstop. Mop bucket wringer setup. Dustpan with brush. Putty knife scraper. Having specialty tools to make the job easier and more effective is recommended. It is important to identify which type of carpet fiber you are going to be cleaning, as different cleaning systems are designed to work with different types of fiber. Always test the cleaning solutions that you will be using on the carpet in an inconspicuous area to be sure that the carpet will not be negatively impacted by its use. 90% of soil in carpet is sand and dry soil and is walked onto the carpet. The dry soil works its way to the backing of the carpet and is sealed in by oily, sticky dirt at the top of the carpet fiber. Over time, the carpet becomes matted and compacted with soil due to lack of continuous proper maintenance. Effective carpet cleaning must have a comprehensive program in place in order to be successful. A carpet maintenance program that begins with clean carpet, then gets dirty, and continues to get even dirtier will ultimately require a serious investment of time and effort to bring it back to its original clean condition. This cleaning plan can prove to be very costly and difficult to manage, with the carpet looking poorly most of the time. A carpet maintenance program that is based on a systematic approach to cleaning, including procedures that have a cleaning schedule that stays out in front of the soil load being deposited on the carpet. A program with proper procedures being used by everyone on the team, using the best equipment and cleaning solutions to get the job done properly, works to keep the overall costs under control at all times. Each area in your facility experiences different levels of traffic and soil patterns. In order to effectively schedule the proper cleaning methods and frequencies, it is critical to establish a maintenance action plan to help you identify the high, medium, and low traffic volume areas of the facility. Your carpet maintenance program should account for these variances in traffic soil patterns and should focus on the removal of soil. Remember to use proper cleaning solutions, equipment, and procedures that do not leave residue behind. Low traffic equals periodic attention. Moderate traffic equals strategic attention. Heavy traffic equals maximum attention. There are 4 cornerstones of carpet maintenance. Preventative maintenance, which is focused on stopping the soil from entering the facility. Daily maintenance, which is focused on the removal of dry soil as well as removing spots. Interim maintenance, which is focused on improving the appearance of the carpet through the removal of surface soils and pile lifting deeply embedded compacted dry soils from the carpet. Restorative maintenance, which is focused on the deep total removal of soils of all types from the carpet using high-powered carpet restoration cleaning equipment and solution. Preventative maintenance, stopping the dirt at the door. Stopping soil from entering a building can dramatically reduce the overall maintenance costs for a facility. It can also extend the life of a facility's carpet. The first line of defense in any facility is proper entrance matting. There is a wide selection of entrance matting available, including custom matting that is designed to fit your facility's architectural design, specific traffic flow conditions, and outside weather conditions. Entrance matting needs to be properly maintained. These entrance mats collect sand and grit at a much higher rate than your floor and require more frequent cleaning. To ensure that you have the proper matting for your type and size of facility, contact your janitorial supply professional for advice. Procedure number 1, daily carpet maintenance. Carpet vacuuming. 90% of the soil that is in a carpet is dry and can be removed through vacuuming on a regular scheduled basis, typically daily. There are a number of various types of vacuuming machines that are used to properly clean and maintain carpeted floors. The selection of which type or model can depend on the area size, carpeting type, as well as the specific environment that you'll be cleaning in. For example, is the environment wide open, such as large hallways or banquet rooms, or is the area more congested or smaller, such as an office cubicle area or a hotel guest room? As with all equipment, it is important to confirm that the machine is in excellent working condition prior to use. It is very important that the vacuum brush be adjusted to the proper height of the carpet being vacuumed. Most vacuuming begins at the room's furthest point from the exit. It is then vacuumed completely, from that point to the point of exit, leaving behind an area that is free from dry soil and dust. It is important that areas are not missed, as you are not only removing deeply embedded dry soil, but dust particles that collect on the surface of the carpet can go airborne at any time, causing them to be redistributed through the facility's ventilation system. When using a machine that is powered using an electrical cord, work should always begin at the point closest to the wall where the machine is plugged in. Work away from the wall, with the turns being made in a way that keeps the cord always on the plug-in side of the machine and not crossing in front of it. Equipment can be severely damaged if the machine is allowed to pass over the power cord and the cord enters the machine itself. If a vacuum is not available, using a toy broom to kick the dust away from the baseboard, followed with a vacuum, will get the job done as well. High traffic areas include entrances, hallways, break rooms, cafeterias, corridors, elevator lobbies, stairways, main aisles, waiting areas. Moderate traffic areas include secondary aisles, research areas, conference rooms, classrooms, atriums. Light traffic areas include offices, cubicles, storage rooms, and executive areas. Carpet spotting. Carpet spots are the #1 complaint with carpeted areas. Spots can be easily dealt with if they are managed in a timely fashion. If spots are not dealt with quickly and effectively, they can grow in number and can become increasingly difficult to remove. As with any procedure, it is important that proper personal protective equipment be worn to prevent cleaning solutions or foreign substances from getting on your hands or in your eyes. Proper spotting begins by identifying the type of spot that you are trying to remove. Using a round blunt tool, such as a spoon or putty knife that has the corners rounded off, scrape at the spot so that you can remove the surface soil of the spot. This will also help you to identify what the spot is. Determining what type of spot you are working with is important, as you will want to be sure that the spot remover solution you use is formulated to work with that type of substance. Using the incorrect spotting solution can result in the spot becoming more difficult or impossible to remove. Using a clean white terry towel, apply the spotting solution to the spot liberally so that the solution penetrates down deep into the carpet fiber where the bulk of the soil has collected. Allow the spotting solution to dwell for a minimum of 60 to 90 seconds in order for it to work effectively. Using a carpet spotting brush, work the spotter into the carpet by agitating the spot in a very controlled manner, inwards so as not to make the spot any larger than it currently is. With a white towel folded into quarters, block the spot with the palm of the hand, flipping the towel to clean sides each time. This will ensure that full removal of the spot is possible. Continue this process until the towel removes no more soil from the area. A very important and often missed step in the spot cleaning process is the final rinsing procedure. This procedure removes any remaining solution residue from the carpet. Spray water liberally onto the area that has been spotted. Blot the carpet using a fresh, clean white towel to remove as much of the water as possible. This will leave a clean, residue-free area that will not attract soil to it. Using a small self-contained extractor works very well for this same procedure, as many of them provide brush agitation for added cleaning power. Procedure: interim maintenance. Interim carpet maintenance focuses on keeping carpets looking good in all areas at all times. Interim carpet maintenance systems, when used properly, remove surface oils, which improves the appearance of carpet and in turn prolongs a carpet's life. It is critical that interim cleaning procedures be scheduled at the point when vacuuming can no longer provide the level of cleanliness that is required. Removing the dry soil from the carpet is essential prior to using any wet cleaning system. A pile brush vacuum, also known as a pile lifter or dry extraction system, is designed to remove the dry soil from the surface, but is most well known for its ability to remove compacted soil from the base of the fiber itself. Spin bonnet procedure. Check with your carpet manufacturer to confirm that warranties will not be affected if a spin bonnet system is used. Carpet, unlike hard floor surfaces, are surfaces with multiple places for soil to hide. The spin bonnet method uses a special carpet pad known as a bonnet, which is round and designed to be used on a standard speed swing type floor machine. Using a residue-free cleaning solution applied to the carpet surface to emulsify soil. This system is designed to be used for light to medium soil embedded in the carpet and transfers it from the carpet fiber to the spin bonnet pad. It is important to know when it is time for an interim carpet cleaning method and when it is not. Too often, carpet is cleaned with the wrong cleaning method, and as a result, it becomes increasingly more difficult and costly to return the carpet to its clean and healthy condition. The spray bonnet method is the popular interim system used for carpet, as it breaks down the surface soil on the carpet fiber without saturating the entire fiber to the backing. This method then removes that surface soil and returns the carpeted area to service quickly. The first step is to apply the properly mixed solution to an area approximately 10 feet by 10 feet with a pump-up sprayer. With a clean spin bonnet on a 175 RPM floor machine, start at the farthest end of the pre-treated area and work moving backwards after each set of passes until the area is completed. Repeat the exact same procedure for the next area to be cleaned, but flip the bonnet to a clean side before beginning. Procedure: Restorative carpet cleaning, deep soil extraction. Restorative carpet cleaning solutions checklist. Carpet spotter for aggressive spots that require additional attention. Non-residue forming carpet pre-spray cleaner concentrate. Non-residue forming carpet extraction cleaner concentrate. Carpet rinse solution. If there is an extreme level of shampoo residue from previous carpet cleaning systems. Defoaming chemical to be added to equipment recovery tank to knock down foam. Restorative carpet cleaning equipment and tools checklist. Dry vacuum for pre-vacuuming. Pile lifter dry extraction machine. Hose wand box type extractor or self-contained carpet extraction machine with brush. Pump-up sprayer. Measuring cup. Carpet fan. It is important to create a carpet maintenance map that clearly outlines the areas of carpet to be cleaned, which type of cleaning procedure will be used, and when they will be used throughout the year. This is a possible graph showing the 4 elements of deep carpet cleaning. Hot water is a better cleaner for carpet. There are 4 essential aspects to the proper deep cleaning of carpet. Time. It is important to schedule a sufficient amount of time to be able to properly remove the deeply embedded soil in the carpet. Temperature. Heat reduces the surface tension of the water on the carpeted surface. This action makes chemistry work better and faster than cold water. Agitation. Agitation, whether with water pressure or through brush agitation, is required to accomplish uniform chemical penetration and distribution. Without agitation, soil streaks in the carpet can appear after the removal process. Chemistry. Chemicals are typically used in 2 steps. 1. To prepare the carpet for cleaning by reducing surface tension and dissolving various soils. This step, called pre-spraying, is a critical step for heavily soiled areas of the carpet where soils have been ground into carpet. Along with oils, these can be broken down prior to the second phase of extraction. Use of an extraction solution in the equipment solution tank allows the water being used to further penetrate the carpet fiber and suspend the soil away from the fiber per extraction. It is important to dry vacuum prior to performing any wet carpet maintenance procedure. Before selecting a piece of equipment to use for a cleaning procedure, it is critical that every machine be checked, ensuring it is in good working condition prior to use. A quick inspection of the machine's working components will make for fast, effective work of the area being cleaned. Fill up the carpet extraction machine with hot water, allowing room in the tank to add the proper carpet cleaning chemical at the proper dilution rate. It is important to add defoaming chemical to the recovery tank to reduce the foam buildup that can occur during the extraction process. Work begins by preparing the area to be cleaned by removing objects or furniture that could be positioned over dirty carpet. Starting at the furthest point in the area to be cleaned and working towards the exit point, pre-spray all heavily soiled areas and spots with a non-residue forming pre-spray solution. The area being pre-sprayed should be limited to a size that can be extracted within 10 minutes of application. The size of the area being pre-sprayed can vary depending on the speed of the carpet extraction equipment you will be using. The carpet fiber should be completely saturated with pre-spray solution so the entire fiber benefits from the contact time with the solution. Position the hose wand machine where work is to begin. If cleaning is to be done with a hose wand type extraction machine, it is important to work in such a way that the hose is not in your way. This can be done by working away from the machine with the hose resting on the side closest to the machine if possible. With a hose wand type of extraction machine, generally, it is the combination of water pressure, cleaning solution, heat, and suction that is doing the work of breaking down the soil and extracting it from the carpet. When applying solution, it is important that the vacuum shoe remain on the floor at all times. This type of cleaning is done in a pull backwards motion, with the solution being cut off at the end of the pass, vacuuming through the pass to be sure that all of the solution is recovered. It may take multiple passes on heavily soiled carpet to remove all the soil. There are brush head attachments that can be added to a hose wand machine, tripling the system's productivity rate of cleaning while reducing operator fatigue. Self-contained machines are ideal for larger, unobstructed areas of carpet. These machines are commonly operated in reverse or pull backwards mode. For even larger areas, such as hallways, classrooms, banquet-type rooms, and casinos, there is equipment available that can be operated in a forward motion, with ride-on models for maximum productivity. Fit the right tool for the job, as the return on investment will be fast, both in labor savings, but more importantly, by extending the life of the carpet by keeping it clean. Both hose, wand, and self-contained machines can be outfitted with various upholstery tools and stair tools to clean these soiled surfaces. Getting carpets dry quickly is important. Using a high-performance carpet fan that can reach a large area is essential. Taking proper care of tools and equipment. We have completed the training for the procedures involved in carpet care maintenance. Now, it is important to take the time to clean all of the tools and equipment that were used during the procedures and place them back in their storage location. Wash all of the tools used during the process. Wipe down the machine with a heavy-duty cleaner, paying particular attention to the underside of the machine, which is where all the action happens. These steps will ensure that these tools are ready for use every time that you need them. A clean, well-organized custodial supply closet saves time and presents a professional impression on all that visit and use it. Floor appearance affects morale, public perception, and safety. Professionally maintained floors are good for a facility. That's important, as visitors put their stamp of approval or disapproval on a facility, based in part by how its floors look. It's our job to ensure that these floors look as good as possible at all times. ISSA, advancing clean, driving innovation.
A lot of information there. A lot more than is covered in our book, and a lot of stuff that is actually gone into in more detail in the advanced section. However, I wanted you guys to be aware of it just because, just like we did on the hard floor, it's good to know some of these restorative processes. And we won't go into a lot of detail, but it is good to know that. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, when I hit that restorative section, what was that? Was it the cleaning procedure, time, temp, agitation, and chemistry?
Yeah, so great catch on that. And let me kind of address that. So there's a good acronym that you can use that will help you to remember it. I call it TACT. T-A-C-T. Time, agitation, the chemistry, and then temperature. So just like when we dealt with hard floors, time is of an essence. And a lot of times chemicals, when they have contact or dwell time, work more effectively. It allows the chemical to break down the soil. Agitation helps us to really kind of break it up and break it free. So the chemical will do part of that job, and we saw some of that through understanding the chemistry, how things like the wetting action, how the chemical reaction of adsorption, all those factors play into it. But agitation really helps the chemical. It's like putting shampoo in your hair and just rinsing it off without agitating it. You wouldn't imagine doing that, right? But Nelson, you don't have to worry about that too much. Just kidding with you, buddy. But that, do we understand? Agitation helps. The chemistry, having the right chemical for the job at the right concentration. For example, some of these chemicals are so highly concentrated that all they need is like 1 ounce or 2 ounces per 5 gallons of water. They're so heavily concentrated. So making sure we have the right chemical concentration. And lastly, did you guys catch the point about temperature? Who noticed what they mentioned about temperature?
They said hot.
Exactly. Reverse of hard floors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hard floors, we ran into the issue of vapor, right, which would cause VOCs. We worry about that. We also worry about it causing it to dry up too quickly, which can lead to problems for us. But hot water is really rough in the maintenance of floor finishes. Floor finishes don't respond too well to hot water. Hot water, on the other hand, when it comes to carpet, is fantastic because it opens up the fibers. It opens them up and allows the soil to release. But one interesting clip that I really liked in this video, it showed a description of how the soil builds up, right? And we know that sand is our enemy, but did you notice how what traps the sand into the backing of the carpet? What was that?
Oily, sticky soils?
Absolutely, Ken. Oily, sticky soils. And we know that gets removed through chemical action. So by doing all we can to vacuum properly, trap as much as we can coming in, that's going to be better because those oily, sticky soils over time are going to hold that sand and dust in there. So if we can do as much as we can to prevent the sand, then we're not going to be fighting ourselves nearly as much. I'll get Nelson and then Mark. You're muted, Nelson.
For those who are going into the school district, do not get frustrated. So when you see the carpet or when you de-clean a classroom with a carpet in and you use everything, the video is awesome, but we can't use that inside the school district, the chemical. So when you get finished doing your carpet, if it turn out brown, don't get frustrated. It's bad.
Okay.
It's a working process.
I'll address that, but let me get Mark's question, and then I'm going to address what you just said. Mark, your question or comment.
Yeah, in regards to what you were talking about, the agitation. Yesterday we saw the video. The gentleman had the brush, tamping brush, towel down, tamped on it. She had it on this video, took it, and was using it for agitation.
Yeah, and here's an interesting catch on that, and I'm glad you saw that, because I have to say there's a few things that they will teach that I don't agree with, The process that is recommended for carpet is a standard that comes from the IICRC. They do a much better job of training on carpet cleaning. On the ISSA video, there's a couple things I don't like. One is that one, that she used that brush to agitate with. You noticed he didn't use that. He used a bone scraper when he agitated the spot. He didn't use the brush for anything more than just tamping. So that was one. The other thing that this video covers is bonnet cleaning. And it does make a warning thing to say that you need to check with the manufacturer for warranty. I will tell you, there is not a carpet mill out there that now will not void the warranty if you bonnet clean it. All the carpet mills say don't bonnet. Now, that being said, a lot of carpets are past their warranty anyway in schools, and bonneting is an acceptable method for older carpets, which that brings back around to Nelson, your comment, okay? One of the problems that occurs, Nelson, let me kind of come back to what you had said. The concern over you're not using chemical, right? You're using the aqueous ozone. So my question is, do you still have access to hot water?
Yes, I have access to hot water in my custodian cupboard, but by the time I go to my location, the water might be warm.
Okay, so couple real good helpful tips. One is more and more districts are going to hot water extractors where it will maintain that heat and actually bring it up a few degrees with some built-in stuff. Number two is in that diagram, the TACT, right? What is interesting about that is if we find that we don't have one element that is not as much as we'd like. For example, if we find that we cannot agitate as much, we can compensate for the lack of agitation by doing two things. We can increase temperature and we can increase maybe our dwell time. Allow the chemical to dwell a little bit more, right? Maybe using a stronger chemical. So you can compensate within that formula. The same would be true lack of temperature. If you have cooler temperatures, then you probably should use a little bit more chemistry. Now you have two things working against you: lack of temperature and lack of chemistry, because you're using water. Now, we do know aqueous ozone does a good job of breaking surface tension, but it has no way of capturing the soil nearly as effective to break the grease and oils, right? Which is what's trapping it in. So the compensation there would be more agitation. And my recommendation is, if you are fighting that, on a swing buffer, okay, or side-by-side buffer, get a nylon brush that you could put on there instead of a bonnet and pre-scrub the carpet. So you'd spray on your aqueous ozone, give it plenty of dwell time, agitate it. I would probably spray on aqueous ozone a little bit more again a second time, and then extract. And we will kind of address some of that. Mark, go ahead.
Does that make a difference in the type of material that is, the flooring, opposed just to jump to a different type of brush and whatnot?
The nylon brushes aren't going to be too harmful on any of the commercial carpet cleaning or commercial carpets. However, you would not want to use those on a natural fiber like a wool or a cotton, because agitation causes what I refer to as balling. Okay, and it's where the fiber itself starts to break down. So you don't want to do that.
And that's what comes to mind when you say that, the agitation part of it and
Yes.
the machine.
Yep.
But that's only on natural fibers.
Yes, and we don't typically clean much natural fibers. Those are done more on area rugs, and they're typically taken to a plant, and when I mean area rugs, I'm talking about like residential interior area rugs that are kind of higher end. So again, we don't run into it too much. So, but
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
So what I found occasionally doing carpets is that there is a lot of old chemical on some of these carpets that does cause the wicking or the brown as well. So with the school district in general, that, I mean, because every site's different. Everybody uses, some people think using more chemical means it's going to clean it when it doesn't. It kind of causes a bigger problem. So I would give Nelson a suggestion, just going through with water and water and water sometimes gets the old chemical out.
It does. Now, I'm going to give you guys a suggestion. Again, this will be covered a little bit more in the advanced course. But if you're running into a browning issue, two things. One, using a neutralizer, because what a neutralizer is actually a carpet cleaning chemical that has an acid in it, and it neutralizes the alkalinity that you're talking about, Christina, which will remove the browning. Okay, because what is happening there is the carpet has a chemical overload. I will say this, aqueous ozone is really good for rinsing because it will break surface tension that you will find does not occur enough with just rinsing with plain water. So there's an advantage there. The other thing is as you had mentioned the other day, Christina, you brought up about the power or pile lifting. You guys saw in the video, they showed a pile lifter, the guy walking behind. He was going a little fast for my taste on a pile lifter. I like to go a little slower because I want to get as much sand out as possible. That can also help you to overcome some of the issues you're dealing with. So if you have access to a pile lifter, and you guys will get a chance to use one of those in the advanced course. I actually have a machine that will do some of the pile lifting. Okay. What else did you guys notice before I jump in with some more things? What things stood out to you guys in that video?
What type of pad was that? Was that an SPP pad, the white pad that was on the swing?
No, that was actually called a carpet bonnet. And let me show you what a carpet bonnet looks like. First, let me exit out of their video. So that's a great question, Tony, because we don't really get into it, but it is something that to be aware of, especially when you start thinking about carpet spotting. Carpet bonnets are really good after you've rinsed it to kind of blend in the carpet, because what will end up happening is you'll get a clean spot after doing the actual stain removal, where that area is clean, but the rest of the carpet is kind of dirty because you've used chemicals there. So let me share my screen with you guys real quick and show you what a carpet bonnet looks like. All right, so you should see this. It's a round pad. They typically are made with a blend of fibers, either cotton and rayon. A lot of times you'll see that good blend. You will occasionally see 100% cotton like this particular one. Now, one of the things about bonnets is that the reason why manufacturers don't like them is you're putting yarn against yarn, turning or spinning it, because you're got a low-speed machine turning at 175 RPMs. And as I mentioned, it can affect the twist of the yarn. It can also create a friction issue if you don't properly do this. The other interesting thing about carpet bonnet cleaning is a lot of people have referred to bonnet cleaning as spreading dirt. Okay, and if you think about it this way, if I take and have a dirty, soily substance, and I just take a rag and try and wipe it, I'll get a lot off. Okay, but if I can suck it out, I'm going to pull more out, right? And that's where extraction has its benefits. It sucks or pulls more of it out, typically rinses the carpet. With a carpet bonnet, you're leaving a lot of residue. And Christina, this really addresses what you mentioned about carpet residue. Most of that carpet residue has occurred because the overuse of bonnet cleaning. They're not rinsing the carpet after they've used this chemical, because imagine they took a rag, they sprayed the solution, or a bonnet in this case, they rubbed it on the carpet, but they didn't remove the excess, what was left over of that detergent. And as a result, our carpet starts to get a buildup of soil. And now it's not only a buildup of soil, it's a buildup of soil and soap. So I've always kind of thought of bonnet cleaning like the idea of it's not so much a good clean, but it's a good evenly dirty, because it's blending in the carpet more than it is removing soil. Some does get removed, but a lot gets left over. And to me, the advantages aren't there. There's a method that has become popular that is not shown in the ISSA video called low moisture carpet cleaning. And it utilizes a pile lifting type of machine. You spray a very fine mist through the machine onto the carpet. It agitates it. And then what's left over, very little moisture, but what is left over has a polymer to it, so that when it dries, that leftover residue vacuums out through the very next vacuuming process the next day. So it's a really cool technology, because what is left over of the chemical residue is encapsulated in that polymer so that it can be removed when you vacuum it. Awesome technology that was developed, I want to say about 8-9 years ago. It really took off, and it's been really a game changer for carpet cleaning. So what's nice about the advanced courses, we actually will put our hands onto this equipment and be able to use it. So any other things that stood out before I kind of move on?
Yeah, when she was vacuum and she ran over the cord, why she didn't stop and check for the cord if the cord was split or damaged?
Yeah, good one. Yeah, bad practices, and it's always a good idea. First of all, you should never run over the cord. That's just carelessness. But making sure that you check it, that it's not damaged from fraying. And then number 2 is properly wrapping up the cord. Now, they did talk a little bit about equipment maintenance and just some simple best practices. Always checking out your cords. Think in terms of this. We are working with water, right? And if you don't rinse or check out your cords, you can run into some safety issues. So make sure all your cords have proper ground to them. They're plugged in properly to the wall, that we remove them not by yanking them out of the wall, but taking it by the end. Making sure that the machine is cleaned up afterward. I like the fact that they showed the underneath of the carpet extractor, cleaning it out or rinsing that out afterwards to make sure it doesn't have strings or yarn, any debris. It's free of sand. Rinsing your tanks out properly, always a good practice. So, what about the spotting? Did you guys pick up on the spotting technique? She did do a couple really good things. You notice how she folded her towel in force so it was easier to work with. and she blotted. Now, I like the technique. I like it better than the tamping brush, to be honest with you. She kind of used her fist and pushed down into the carpet. I'll take my hand and I'll press down on the carpet, and I'm looking for transfer. She also, it mentioned about testing in an inconspicuous spot. She went over to the wall. She sprayed just a little bit of chemical onto her rag and tested it. What she was looking for there was what we call color fastness. It's not as much of an issue with general purpose cleaners, but sometimes stronger carpet spotters, you want to make sure that it doesn't damage the fiber. She probably should have spent a little bit more time waiting, checking to make sure. But she checked by just kind of lightly brushing it on there just to see that there was no issue with the carpet. Really cheap quality carpets can have some issues with color. Again, we don't run into that too often, especially with the new nylon carpets, but that is something. One of the things that is mentioned in our book on page 84 is that nylon carpeting is particularly susceptible to dyes used in soft drinks because they can affect it. One of the worst dyes that really affects nylon carpet is red color. Think about like Red Mountain Dew, or I'm showing you my age here. Back when I was a teenager, Slurpees were real popular at 7-Eleven. We'd go to 7-Eleven, play Pac-Man or whatever other video game, and grab ourselves a Slurpee. The Slurpees, the color in those are really bad. You can imagine if they're bad for carpet, what they are for us. But that will cause some discoloration. Fruit juices, and nowadays the kids take the different fruit juices to school, and fruit juices are very common spills on carpet. And so a lot of times you will need to use a method to remove that is a red dye remover, because it actually has a dye in there. So to that extent, you'll want to use that with steam a lot of times, where you'll help transfer it. So, but she blotted up the stain. Now, what is the most important thing when it comes to a spill for us to get the best effect? What's the first and most important thing we should do?
Find out what kind of spill or stain it is.
Okay, even before that, Christina, you're right. There's something first.
Use PPE.
Yeah, we should always do that. So I'll use that as kind of a general that we always do that.
To block it?
Block it. You want to get as much of that up as possible, right? Because if it dries, it's going to now turn from a spill to a spot. So, before class, I spilled coffee on my sample. Now, to be honest with you, it doesn't show up real well on a brown carpet fiber sample. But I'll show you something, okay? I've got my carpet. I have my white terry cloth towel. Mine happens to be a big one. But I'm blotting it right now. And what I'm doing, trying to show you guys here, is I'm literally taking my hand and pressing it into it. And you'll see, okay? You see the brown color. The coffee is transferring onto it. And then I'll move it and I'll do another spot. Okay? I want to get as much of that off as possible. You can see now, and it's hard to see on the camera here, but you guys can kind of see the brown coloring there. That's the coffee transferring. I want to try and absorb as much as possible onto my towel and not leave it on the carpet. Then, after I've done that, I will keep pressing until I get very little transference. Here's what's really cool. If you do that right away on your carpet, your spill, you're going to find you may not even have to use anything more than just water and rinse it and blot it again to get an effective transfer and get all of that out. But if you wait and let it sit up, now you absolutely have to use a chemical because you got to break that bond. And especially as people walk on that. Because now what's happened is all that soy, all the chemical, okay, which in this case was coffee, right? And I use creamer in my coffee. So now it's got a couple things there that as people walk on the carpet, it's grabbing a hold of the dirt and it now becomes almost locked into it. So then what I will do is I'll turn around, and in this case, I happen to carry with me an all-purpose spotter. This is my spot cleaning product, and you can buy any kind of all-purpose spotters. This is from a company out of the Bay Area that sells Bright Solutions. But what I will do is I will spray that, okay, let it saturate, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll blot it again and see, and I'll get a little bit more brown out of there, a little bit more of the coffee will come out. And then when I'm done, the last step would be to rinse it with water to get that out. And that's a step that the video mentioned most people miss, is they don't rinse it. One of the things you saw in the video, they actually pulled their carpet extractor out to rinse it. And part of that is if you have enough spots and spills, especially spots around, it's not a bad idea to have that small carpet extractor just to rinse that out and to kind of blend it in so that you don't have this really clean spot from where you used a spot remover and then a dirty spot all around it. Because I've seen that. I've seen, especially on carpet that's a few years old, where the cleaning person goes around spot cleans, you got all these little clean spots. That's the advantage of rinsing it with a carpet extractor, is you can actually just blend it in real nicely. Mark.
Yeah, how does this fit in the real world where the spotting? Because is this something that's scheduled maintenance, or because there's 8 hours in a day and there's duties to do? So how does that take time?
So what I always recommend to a custodian is that they plan for regular spot cleaning. It's part of their regular duties. And, you know, you're working 5 days a week in a building. You know your building. First of all, as much as possible, when spills occur, they should be rinsed out. If that occurs, and I'll use the example of two places, a medical facility, a hospital, and then also a school. In both cases, there is a daytime staff person there that's a cleaning person. They're the first responders, okay? If they do their job well, then the follow-up is a lot easier. You may not have to do anything. So that's helpful. But the reality is, okay, a lot of times teachers or staff members in a facility don't tell you, right? They're walking along, minding their own business, and teachers are really bad about this. I know, I'm a teacher, and I watch them do it all the time. They'll spill and won't say anything because they don't even realize that, oh, yeah, I dripped a little bit here, no big deal. They might grab a paper towel and pick up some of it, but they do nothing. Or even worse, in a medical facility where they're so busy that they're dribbling or spilling or whatever, and they don't even care. They're too busy to stop and tell anybody about it or forget about it. So then you walk into a real world scenario where you have just vacuumed yesterday, you come in the next day, where'd this come from? So you build in time, you know, because a lot of times you do have a very set schedule, but you also have time there to take care of some of these things, and it's project work. Sometimes you're doing, you know that you're going to be doing high dusting. And other times you know that you're doing detail work on something else. So you say, hey, I'm going to get, 5 or 10 spots done on Friday. I'm doing my spot removal. And you make a note of it. I need to do spots in classroom number 3. I need to do this in classroom number 10. So you pay attention to what you need to get done, and that's your project work. You're going to schedule time for getting your spot removal. If you don't schedule time for it, it will just get worse. There's custodians that don't. They ignore it. But especially if I've just installed a new carpet or stuff, I'm going to make sure I'm taking care of that carpet. And to me, I know my building. I own it. I own this area. This is my responsibility. So I am going to set aside time and say, I need to get my spot removal done this week. Just like I need to do high dusting, or just like I need to do detail clean in my restroom periodically. Nelson.
Is it like, for when I go in today, this evening, I get finished with all my classroom no later than 6. And then my next project, I'm going to wipe down all of my doors from all my classroom to the office, every last door, so that I won't have to do that next week. I can move on to something else.
Yeah, good point.
Can I give you a suggestion real quick, Nelson?
Go for it, Christina.
Can I give you a suggestion, Nelson? I usually check my doors and wipe them down at the same time, so it's kind of like 2 for 1 towards the end of the night, because you know how we have to check doors. So I usually wipe down the doors and check them, pull them, and 2 for 1 for me, at least.
Yes, I do that too. But sometimes the same routine might get bored, so I just like to mix it up and just have fun, taking my time doing it. But thank you.
So I always encourage custodians to build time into their schedule. And again, this is working with management, your supervisor, so that you have time for it. They understand when they look at that part of our duties in janitorial is more than just the basics. And give you an example. In managing cleaning of grocery stores, we generally speaking know that a grocery store can be cleaned in 5 hours. 30,000 square foot, I can sweep, dust mop, clean the floors, spot mop, buff the floors, and clean the restrooms in about 5 hours, maybe 6 if it's a really dirty store. But I typically have a little bit of wiggle room there, and as long as I'm completing it in, under, let's say, 7 hours, because a lot of times we don't give 8 hours, we don't have 8 hours because of store staff. There's a little bit of extra time to do some stuff periodically, and that might be to work on edges and get details done. Just spend a little bit more time on the restroom, things like the partitions in restrooms. In this case, on the carpet, if I had a building that had a lot of carpet, I'd be scheduling time that periodically, probably once a week, I would spend a little bit more time doing spot removal. So that's how I handle that. Okay. Any other questions on the video? I mean, there was a lot in there. Did you guys have questions about some of the equipment you saw? Some of you have already been exposed to that equipment, but for a lot of you guys, you've never seen that before.
When the gentleman was gum remover using a spoon to remove the gum, I said, "Oh, all right, that's a nice,
So, not a bad idea, because you're not using a chemical that would hurt, as long as it was a rounded over edge, a lot like that bone scraper. Ken, come on in. Or go ahead.
What I saw that they had a cleaner and she was riding on it. And what do you do for the spots close to the wall?
Okay. So a lot of times what's really cool with those ride-on machines, they can get up to right up against the wall. They'll have a little bit of a roller there, and they'll get right up close to the edge. So, and here's the other thing to be aware of. Most of the soil occurs where? Is it occurring right up next to the edge?
No. I guess that's right. Ain't nobody walking.
Nobody's walking on the
flat back against the wall, you know.
Right? Unless you're in jail, nobody's walking against the edge. So, tells you how much time I've spent working with jails. So, Mark.
Yeah, when Nelson touched on the spoon, I couldn't read, but that can, I assume, was it a freezer to freeze the gum or whatever that was?
Yep. So, this isn't touched on in this class, but it should be. They use aerosol type of gum removers. They're very popular because they have two things. One, they, much like canned air where it's got a almost a freezing agent to it, it has that with a solvent in it. And it's a solvent that will break down. What's nice about that is that it stays on the surface. So it's really easy. What it'll do is it'll freeze it. So now you can kind of chip it off there. The warning about that is that in doing that, be aware that you may leave some residue. So it's a good idea that after you get the bulk of it with it, to do it a second time and then rinse it with water. Okay. I still like, and I'm going to tell you, my favorite tool for carpet spotting is I absolutely love having a bone scraper. Because one, it makes it easy to chip that off, and I'm not going to damage the fibers. And then number two, I can turn around, put some more down, get the little bit of residue, because it's going to leave little bits there. Do a second application, get the rest of that off, and then I'll rinse it off with water and a rag.
Is that solvent freezer damaging to the carpets?
No, it usually is not. Yeah, it does a good job. It's the same solvent that we used in the gum remover. That's the gel. Very similar. Number two is it stays on the surface. Unless you blast it, a ton of it down into the backing, which, okay, funny story. I told you about the roller skating rink. What I didn't tell you was that the roller skating rink invested in using those same freezer cans, but it had a tool because it was very lazy for the employees to use. They called it a gum. I think they called it a gum zapper. The tool had a tube that went down and it had an agitating arm at the end, so it would blast it with the freezer and it would break it up, right? Well, if you imagine this kid standing there just blasting at gum, they were putting a huge amount of solvent into the carpet. So it literally took 1 month of this happening. And the owner had said, "Oh, I got the perfect solution. I've got these gum zappers." I'm like, "I haven't seen those. Show them to me." I watch them and I said, "That's kind of cool, but don't you think that's going to put a little bit too much?" It's great. It's going to work fantastic. A month later, she says, "Yeah, I had to call the carpet guys out because the carpet's coming loose in spots." I'm just shaking my head. And I'm new in the business. I'd only been on the supply side about 2 years at the time. And even then I knew this is just not a good idea. So I haven't seen those in the industry much since then. That was back in the early 90s, though. Okay. You saw the carpet bonnets. Okay, you saw the extractors. You saw the ride-on machines, the walk-behind machines. So there was a lot of different carpet extractors that were shown. All of those with the idea of spraying down solution, agitating the carpet, and then rinsing it or vacuuming it back up. Okay, there's a negative to that, though. And that is, remember what I meant, that group TACT, part of it is agitation. A lot of times there's not a lot of agitation, even though it has a brush to that. There's not a lot of agitation with it, with just one pass back. So as a result, you can still end up leaving a lot of soil. What I tell people is if you have a very dirty carpet, go over it a couple times. Or pre-agitate it first, getting some of that soil loosened up. You can accomplish that with a brush, a nylon rotary brush, which, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm not typing real well. I think I showed you guys a picture of this the other day. Might have helped if I say carpet shampoo brush. There we go. So this is an example of a nylon shampoo brush. Okay, it's a long bristle brush. Usually they do need to be broken in before you use it the first time on carpet because they tend to be a little stiff at first. Some guys will actually take in the warehouse and run it on the concrete to get it to lay over a little bit so that it's softer. Other manufacturers have made them a little softer or use different types of nylon, but what happens is you'll notice it has the holes up here. A lot of times you'll see a carpet machine or a swing buffer that has a tank on it, and the tank is for putting some cleaning solution or water in there, and it feeds the water down right into that block and allows it to keep it wet. Because one of the things when you're doing carpet cleaning is you want to make sure that you are keeping it wet so you don't have the brush grabbing hold of the carpet. Funny story is the company I used to work for, one of the guys got called out on a job, and he was told by the customer, they just bought some new shampoo brushes, that they weren't working. They were too aggressive on the carpet. And part of it was they weren't using the right type of or tank with it with solution. And as a result, it was grabbing a hold of it and it was whipping them. And all they did is they took it out, put it on the concrete, ran the shampoo brush for a little bit, broke it in, put it back on there, and they put cleaning solution in the tank and ran it. Worked perfect. So it's just knowing how these tools operate, and that'll help. Again, a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is more restoration, but part of maintenance is making sure that we are getting the soil out as much as possible ahead of time in daily maintenance through good entrance matting, vacuuming, and then maintaining our spots. If we stay on top of our spotting, then overall it's going to stay cleaner longer, and we're going to have more effect when we go to do our cleaning. We're not going to be doing spot removal. The other thing I do want to address is that understand if we don't take care of spots and stains as they occur, then it has to be addressed when the carpet is restored. Otherwise, a regular carpet cleaning will not remove the stains. It'll remove dirt and soil spots, but it won't remove true stains. So it still is going to have to be done. Okay, so a lot there. The last thing I want to touch on is something that they mentioned about a carpet maintenance plan. It referred to light areas or light traffic, medium traffic, and heavy traffic. Where this comes into play is if you guys are working in large buildings. So, for example, if you were to be working in an airport or in a hospital or in a large government building, you're going to find there's so much traffic that occurs in the building, you don't have time to vacuum wall to wall every day. So that's where you focus your efforts. And a lot of times this is through mapping the building, understanding what areas are what. So if I have heavy trafficked areas, okay, the main traffic lanes where lots of people walk, which would be things like the hallways, the lobbies, those are going to be heavily trafficked. Medium traffic might be going into break rooms or areas that are not part of the main traffic way. And then the light traffic might be things like office spaces. Now, does that mean that they need to be vacuumed or don't need to be vacuumed in that light traffic? No, it's just not as many people are walking on it. So as a result, you don't have to do as much work on the vacuuming. One of the companies who did an amazing job of mapping carpets and mapping carpet cleaning was a company called Host. They built a carpet cleaning system with a sponge type of material. I won't get into a whole lot about that, but I will tell you that they developed a program of mapping the building, identified those traffic areas, and then as part of their maintenance plan, they would restore the carpet in the heavily trafficked areas more often than they would in the light. Maybe only extracting the carpet once a year in the light traffic areas, maybe a couple times a year in the medium traffic, and then maybe quarterly on the heavily trafficked areas. So that's where a maintenance program works well. And that same application holds true to even vacuuming. Heavy traffic areas may do better job of taking and having a upright vacuum to really vacuum those, whereas the medium and low traffic, a backpack would be totally sufficient. So it's a good model to follow to really identify that. And I know, Robert, you didn't work so much in the vacuuming crew in the airport, but I had asked you about the airport vacuuming because in an airport, it's the same thing. You have areas that are really heavily trafficked and other areas that are a lot lighter. One of the biggest things in an airport to deal with is regular spot and stain removal, because you think about all the food and drink that gets spilled in the seating areas outside the gates at airports. It's important for the crew to stay on top of the spots and stains there. All right, so we have effectively covered the information. By the way, I did find the answer to your question, Mark, the clarification on the carpet. So I'm going to point this out to you. Let me go back into my book real quick. On page 82, this is the way the book words the answer to that question. This is just underneath the picture of the woman vacuuming the stairwell. First sentence says, to do an excellent job with an upright vacuum, regular vacuuming must be supplemented with detail vacuuming. Okay, so it's regular vacuuming and detail vacuuming is the answer to that question on the test.
Got it right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ken, I always love your thumbs ups. That's awesome. Any questions we have about the carpet cleaning? And then I'm going to wrap up with talking about scheduling for a minute. Okay. So let me end the recording here.
Recording stopped.
Just a couple of notes about recordings. I did post in the class under the carpet cleaning section, both Monday and Wednesday's class for review. If anybody needs that, you're welcome to use it. Both the audio and video files are saved there. It's posted, so you're welcome to use that. The question we had discussed whether or not we would do an in-person graduation on April 14th, our last day of school. What has been determined based on scheduling and some other issues is no, we will not do an in-person. It will need to remain Zoom for that particular one. We didn't get that approved. They want to hold off on doing those. I will say, however, that anybody taking the advanced course, because of occupancy in the building, in the advanced course, there will be 3 hands-on sessions. Teresa and I are working on the dates on those. Those would end up being held on a Saturday. I'm not going to get into those details right now, but those of you who are in the advanced course, you will get a schedule. Teresa and I are working on that right now to get that out on Monday to everybody. So just anybody taking that class will have that schedule for a few Saturdays. What's happening is we have to balance a couple other classes out in how we do some certain things. So that's why we couldn't do the in-person. So I did want to kind of get that all clarified for you guys. What else did I want to address? So on Monday, you guys will be doing your breakout. Mark, go ahead before we move on.
Touch on the presentation. Is this something that we need to turn into you, or is it just everything kept to ourselves and we present?
You guys will be presenting it. So what we will be working on is Monday we'll work on a little bit more on the presentation. And at this point on Monday, I'm going to start to show you guys. So I'll do a little bit of a sample one for you in a class on Monday to give you guys an idea of some of what I'm looking for. And then you guys can choose to present how you want to. But I'll give you some more helpful tools. And then you guys will finalize that last few days of class. So where we're at on our schedule right now, next week, Monday, we'll be working on our presentations a little bit. And then we do Wednesday and Friday next week on the moving into the restrooms. We'll do Wednesday, Friday. The following Monday will be the last portion of our book. And then Wednesday, April 7th, really will be Wednesday and Friday that week, working on how we build the presentation and helping you guys get that. You guys will be working a lot in your breakout rooms to finish that up. Okay. And then that's also where anybody who's doing testing, we'll be making sure everybody who's done that, any makeup test, we're going to try and accomplish during the week of April 5th to the 9th for makeup testing. We like to get all this done as soon as possible. And that way we get into our last couple of classes with the 12th, me doing a little bit of a presentation for you guys, and then you guys will finalize and be able to do your presentation to the class on the 14th. So, yeah, you guys will, I think after Monday's class, you'll have a better idea of how you'll want to present this. But this will also allow everybody within your groups to have a share in this. One of the things I do want to see is every person in the team needs to have a share in the presentation. I am not looking for you guys to be speech writers. I don't expect anybody to, this isn't about the idea of you guys being salespeople trying to present. Rather, it is about you understanding the concept of how to be able to identify those processes. What is the equipment, materials, supplies? What is the cleaning process for cleaning that building? And that's why I want everybody to have a share in it in one way or the other. And that's where you guys, as a team, will figure out who will do what. So you guys can work out that. I won't assign that within the groups. And remember, this is not a graded thing, that final presentation. It's really for me as an instructor to make sure that you guys have the grasp of the concept. Do you understand how to go about cleaning that building that you've been assigned to do? So, and it also allows you guys to help each other out as well, because you guys could share in working together as a team. So it makes it a fun process. Right, so that'll be Monday's assignment. I will encourage you guys to go ahead and begin testing for Module 5, which was the carpet cleaning. There are a lot of questions about carpet spotting, so please review that. Make sure, use your written exams so that you could prepare for it, and then go through, do that testing. And I am caught up with some other projects, so I'm spending time over the weekend. I will on Monday again check back with those of you who have not finished or are up to date on your testing. So I'm making sure that we're on track with this. Any other questions you guys have? Okay, so everybody understands our schedule going in?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I think one video is missing 22nd March.
It
The
is
recording
in
video?
there. I posted it on Wednesday. It's March 22nd in there. Want me to show you? Hang on 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Okay. Okay. I think one video is missing. I think 22nd March or 24th.
Yep. Nope. They're both there. And I'll show
Okay,
you.
I'll check again. Okay. Thank you.
Hang on a second. I'm going to show it to you, Arkina. So
Sorry, sir.
no worries. I have been known to make a mistake every once in a great while. Not too often, but those of you who are in the advanced course, on Monday, I will also want to take a minute just to touch base with you guys. So by then, Teresa and I will have finalized the schedule. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to share my
Sounds
screen. All right. So Arkina, here in basic cleaning of carpeted surfaces, okay, there's 2 class recordings. Even though it says it was posted March 24th, notice this says this is the recording for March 22nd.
Oh, okay.
The second
Yes,
one
yes.
says it's the recording for March 24th.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I see.
You're welcome. All right. Well, guys, thank you for another good week. And I will keep the classroom open for anybody who has any questions of me. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and that'll conclude today's class.
Yes, I didn't really hear. So is the schedule still normal next week, or?
Yeah, we still have classes. No change to the days. It's just that I was updating you guys on the things we're doing.
Okay.
Sir, I want to know about supervisor course.
That is not, we have not developed that course. It was just a polling. So that one has not been posted.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend, and we will see everybody on Monday.
Okay.
All right.